Sometimes you just go on with your day and then you remember something that happened maybe 10 years ago or from your past and it just doesn't leave you alone. Yep, had those days. And let's talk about embarrassment. First of all, just acknowledge that you have valid feelings. Your feelings are valid. Whatever you're embarrassed about has made you feel a certain way. And you should acknowledge that it is valid for you to feel that way. If you still feel pain from it, then this is where another thing is involved. It's unresolved. If something is left unresolved, it's going to dwell on your mind and you're going to just be thinking, when's it going to be over? So here is the harsh truth. Sometimes you won't be able to resolve it. If anything, if it is linked to someone hurting you, because that's a lot of bad memories right there. Maybe someone humiliated us, or maybe we remember doing something embarrassing. That's the term embarrassment. We just think about it, you know. And that's when we start thinking, oh, I've done something. I said this. I can't believe I said that. So let's acknowledge some important things here. Everyone has an embarrassing moment. People just have different ways to respond to it. Everyone has had a moment they slipped up, they just don't talk about it. And maybe some people might seem like they have everything together, but no. Everyone has a moment that makes them feel like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Trust me, we all have it. But the most ideal thing to do is not to just spout positive affirmations on the spot, which I hate because I just prefer to be real with myself, but to understand that whatever happened in the past. So a lot of the times, especially with PTSD, and I don't want to trigger anyone, I myself I'm going through quite a lot of things to do with it. A lot of the times you focus on that moment as if it's happening right now. And this doesn't just have to link to PTSD. I'm just saying this is common. So no one should be self-diagnosing. This can still happen even if you don't have it. And people just need to know that your feelings that you have from back then are based on something that is tied to something personal to you. So if you have done something embarrassing, like talking to someone and you said something and you wish you didn't say it, maybe to this day you are someone who has anxiety with talking to people, or maybe to this day you're thinking, what if I say something like that again? Likewise, if you've slipped and hurt yourself in front of other people, happened to me before by the way, then sometimes you think, oh crap, I don't want that to happen to me again, so you become more wary of it. But yeah, that's usually how I approach it. And the most important thing I'd like to say, other than your feelings are valid, is that people move on, guys. Whatever's been bothering you now, people will forget about it. Honestly, I'm not trying to glaze anything. People have lives. If someone was to look back 10 years later, do you seriously think they'll be thinking about the one embarrassing thing you've done? They probably have more embarrassing things that they themselves have done to focus on, or other people in their lives. And that's the thing. Unless you did something so bad that they remind you 24/7, it's not going to be something that dwells like that. So just understand that the feeling of embarrassment, the feeling of the past and dwelling in it, it's destructive, okay? And you guys have to realize that as painful and as important as it is to address it, you have to have the right outlook for it. Because so many people associate it with something that's happening right now. It's not, okay? You're safe, and something that happened a while ago is not something that's happening to you right now. Acknowledge the lessons you've learned. If you felt embarrassed from the past, sure, it's embarrassing, but what did you learn? Are you doing it less now? Have you done that thing again ever since? Sometimes I don't even learn things, but I'm trying. But I do know that my response is better. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes with problems such as PTSD, not trying to trigger anyone, by the way, one of the issues is that when I speak to someone, or if something doesn't go well, my mind replays it over and over again. So if I say something embarrassing to someone, my mind replays it. My mind keeps thinking, oh, I said this, I said this. It dwells on my mind. Even if the other person has forgotten or doesn't even care, my mind is caring for the other person. This can also cause me to be empathetic as well. And another thing that I like to acknowledge is that it also does the same thing with good memories, interestingly. So if I was to get praised or if I was to achieve something sometimes, my mind would replay it and remind me, oh, I've done this. Because this is what happens. This is like very personal, but I've mentioned this in some videos. This is what happens when the mind is used to validation. So if you are someone who is a people pleaser, or even if you grew up as one and you're no longer one, you have traces of that. So that's why you grow up with those feelings. Because when you notice it yourself, you're thinking, wow, you really want to keep affirming it to yourself because it's something you can't believe. That's at least what happens to me. So yeah, your feelings are valid. And embarrassment is something we all get, but there's no point dwelling about something that's been dug up for years. And unless people mention it, there's no need to think about it. Like, some people dig it up themselves to others. They're like, oh yeah, remember when I did this? I was so silly. I was so this. Don't do stuff like that. Honestly, you're just going to cause problems to yourself. And honestly, dark humor is... unless I'm in a bad mood, I hate dark humor. It's so destructive and people just don't get how bad it is. So yeah. But yeah, I just thought about making a video about being embarrassed or having feelings about that linger, because it's not your fault why you feel this way. It's painful, I know, it sucks. And you might be thinking, oh, how am I gonna get out? Oh my god. How am I going to get over it? And I'm gonna say this while holding your hand. You'll never 100% get over it, but you can manage it better. So it's something that, and I'm not talking about memories necessarily, but I'm just talking about mental health in general, because no one's ever 100% okay. Life is like that. It's tough. It sucks, but there are good moments too. And what I like to do is try to replace the memories if I can. So if my mind thinks I said this embarrassing thing, I can tell myself, oh, today I said something smart, I said something intelligent. And you're not trying to do this every single time, because that's going to cause anxiety and that's going to cause you to eventually burst, because you're thinking that, oh, I've done this once, now every single time I do something bad I have to say, oh look, I did this, oh look, I did this, oh look, you'll get exhausted and you'll start feeling like you have to compete with yourself. So just take it a little bit at a time and remind yourself overall of your goals and just say, wow, I did this, I didn't think I could do this, but I did. And that usually keeps me safe with my thoughts. And for anyone who also isn't aware, thoughts alone is what triggers a lot of things, even health problems, everything like that. It all starts with a thought. That's why to anyone who is close to me or my friend, etc., I tell them the same thing. I always tell them, focus on your thoughts. Always focus on your thoughts. Control them as best as you can. And it's easier than you think, but it's also much more impactful. And controlling your thoughts does not mean, oh, I'm so positive and happy. Hell no. It's thinking that, okay, I've done this before. It's better than panicking. Panic mode is the worst thing you can do. So don't panic about the embarrassing moments you've had. Don't interact with them, because another thing I often used to have, or still have, depending on how intense a memory is I talk to myself as if I'm responding. So let's say I go through something painful in my mind, something that's happened before, something that has caused me to feel ashamed. My mind would then make me say things like, oh, no, I'll just randomly blurt out random words. Yes, in actual person, I would blurt out random words. And the worst part is when people are around. Thankfully, I don't get that much of that, but it shows how active our thoughts are, because it just started from within. And how am I speaking it? Because my mind has been contributing to that. So when you think about it like that, you realize it's not just active, it's internal as well. It's very passive. So yeah, when you control what's within, you can also control the output. And that's exactly why you must always monitor your thoughts. You can't monitor all 50 to 80,000 of them, but you can definitely see which ones run past your mind the most. And it's important to acknowledge this, because this is how people cause stress for themselves, heavy long-term stress, because they don't monitor their thoughts. They keep thinking and overthinking and overthinking. And overthinking is also something that sucks. I might make a video about overthinking another day, but it's basically the same-ish principle. You just have to address it for what it is. Like, yes, it sucks, but you'll live, okay? You're living, you'll live. This memory that happened, this embarrassing moment or moments or painful moments, you're living, okay? And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just trying to tell you with tough love. People don't care. Unless they explicitly mention it to you 24/7, people move on. People don't have time to think about what someone else did that's embarrassing, because life goes on. We have work, we have family to worry about, we have other different aspirations to focus on, priorities. You think I would really have time to just think about every embarrassing thing I or someone else have done in my life? No. I have a life. I make videos, I show up for myself and do stuff. So that's what you have to understand. Do you personally monitor people's embarrassing moments? Unless you have a record in some book about what people do and read it to yourself every single day, which is freaking crazy and psychotic, if I have to be honest. You don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. Your feelings are valid and you can overcome this, but you can't live in the past forever. It's called moving on for a reason. If you keep talking about the past, if you keep associating yourself with it, you're gonna end up in some severe problem. Honestly, it's like a debt that catches up to you. At first it doesn't seem that bad, and then you realize this is how much BS you're putting into your life. You're gonna see that all at once it's going to just kaboom, it's gonna fall onto you. It's literally like a pile of snow. That's how avalanches are, you know. It just compounds and compounds and compounds. So the more you compound these problems and keep it bottled up, it makes it worse. So be honest with yourself. If you're not feeling great, just talk to yourself. Don't be someone who's just going to be complete stuck in the mud, and don't be someone who's highly optimistic. Be someone who's grounded and smart with what you do. But yeah, I'm just going to do a banner since I've got 3 crystals. Yep, only 3. Oh, about time I finished a set. Oh, she's cute. I like her hair. I took my sweet time with that. No pun intended, because she's a sweet character. Okay, we're going to the outfit compendium. It's all the way to 1. Where is it? La 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 la. Dada. But yeah, I hope that this helps anyone who feels like they have something lingering. That's all it is in a nutshell. It's complex to deal with, but it's a very simple principle. You just have unresolved trauma. You have something that you haven't resolved. So when you think about, it's the same with when you think about people you used to be close to. You have something unresolved. Even now, I have some moments where I think about people I was once close to, but there's no way I can get official closure because I've either blocked those people or I've just decided, you know what, I can't reward that kind of energy or behavior. So sometimes it takes time for it to heal. It does it on its own, but you just have to realize healing is messy. And I have a video on why healing hurts as well, so if you guys want to check that out, that would be incredible. Also, I am raising money for this channel and to support the people of Palestine, so please support my coffee page. Even $5 would be appreciated. I am doing 70% off my commissions if anyone supports my coffee page. And yeah, this is what I try to say in a lot of my videos. Life sucks, but you have to take initiative. And you have to take the action. You have to have that discipline. So yeah, if a moment is troubling you, you face it head on, or you wait until you can face it. And if you can't have closure with certain people, sorry Nikki, I know you're bored, then just realize you've done your bit. Just don't keep yourself in the same grave. Move on. Those people moved on. Those people moved on like it's nothing. Why are you punishing yourself for that? Stop it. That's self-sabotage. So yeah, just acknowledge this. It's all with love, guys. Yep, Nikki, I caught you getting bored. Okie dokie, so peace, and I'll see you guys possibly in another video. Goodbye.